I'm back again. I'm following on from the last video like I said I was gonna. So, we're gonna start this one by tearing down the VVT gear. Like I said, we're gonna tear the VVT gear down. I've already taken the front cap off, and so basically all we need to do now is undo the other Torx bolts. These are very small ones, they're not particularly tight. And then it should separate the whole gear. I don't think there's any marks that I need to adhere to. Pretty sure they are all assembled in one piece and only go together in one particular way. So let's get it apart and see if this one's full of debris and dirt. I'm hoping not. Oh yeah, I mentioned in the last video, the newer FSI engines, I don't know why, they seem to have a washer here, and then it has extra bits that bridge to this centerpiece. The only thing I can think of why that is to restrict the oil flow. It's the only thing I can think of, or the only reason why it would have a washer which kind of bridges a gap. Next clip, like I said, let's get these bolts out and hopefully don't take an eye out with a massive spring, because there's a big spring inside here. Bolts are out. Now, this is likely to just go ping any second. I really don't want to leverage this, but I think I might have to. Also, if you're worried about the alignment of it all, where you pass the 8mm dowel through, that is your alignment for it, so don't worry too much. So it tells me there is some dirt and debris in here. Doing exactly that. I'm so glad that was caught on camera. Just as I thought. There's dirt in there as well. Okay. Don't worry, I am going to clean this all properly. Ew. That's like carbon. Big spring, like I said. Again, all wadded up with carbon. Not just dirt from it flying across my floor. So this piece looks fine. So this is what your oil pressure in the engine is doing. It moves. I'll show you better in a moment actually. So you've got a helicoil there, helicoil gear, whatever you want to call it. This piece slots over like so, and then this is what your oil pressure moves. This piece stays static with your cam. When the oil's pushed, it moves this. Your spring pushes it back into its normal position. It presses against this plate on the top. So this will be bolted on and it presses against it. My problem is there's lots of this inside that cam gear, which looks like old O-ring, which is this. The O-ring looks okay, so I don't know if that needs to be replaced yet. There we go, O-ring's out. It's not pinched. Ooh, okay, maybe it is. Right there. What was there? Is it? Or is it just dirt? Okay, it's come off, whatever it was. Again, there's lots of shit in there which I don't like. I think the plan, clean it out as best as we can. Same for this is all covered in stuff at the minute, but it will clean. Let's clean it all up, see what it looks like after cleaning. Everything is torn down and cleaned as best as I can. There was quite a lot of shit in there, as you can see. Okay, there's still a lot of stuff leaking out of that. Partially tempted to just stick it and brake clean overnight. This piece has got a sealing ring. Now, I have taken it apart more from what you last saw it. As you can see, I've gutted the centre out now. That was all full of schmutz. That's clean and grot free now. Obviously, I'll put the cap back in the end just so I don't lose it. I'm going to polish this again. I did it on my other one. I'll do it on this one just so it looks nice and clean again. And this piece is what sits in the middle of that toothed wheel. It just literally taps out and then pushes back in. Again, you just line it all up with the timing marks, your dowel there. Where is it with BMW owners? They always have the same stupid tune. Anyone ever notice that? I'm just not happy that that's going to seal. Really not happy. It might be absolutely fine, but I just don't want to take that chance. I just want it to seal and be good. So you can probably hear the kettle behind me. I can't find a replacement O-ring online now because this still feels quite durable. I'm gonna try a couple of techniques to try and rejuvenate it. I'm gonna heat it up, hot water, leave it to soak in the hot water for a little bit, and then we'll check again and see how flat it is. Hopefully it might spring it back again. And then the second part is soaking it in olive oil. Apparently that's a thing as well. I'll come back with my findings. So it's probably been about, I don't know, 30-40 minutes. It's not really made any difference in all honesty, so I guess we can rule out hot water. Okay, let's try heating some oil and try that way. Alright, let's see if warm/hot oil will do anything. Again, this is olive oil, apparently what was recommended, so we'll see. Don't know if there's some sort of cloudiness coming off it. Apparently that's meant to be a thing. I'll leave this for about an hour. Moment of truth. Has olive oil made this seal any better? You know what? I think it might have. It definitely feels rounder. Huh. It definitely feels rounder. I can feel a roundness to it. And it actually looks kind of thicker in my hand as well. Well, looking at it through this anyway. That might have actually done something. I might leave it in there a bit longer. Anyway, next clip is going to be gear reassembled, I guess. It's D-Day. We're taking the cam belt and everything all off. I've already started stripping the car down. I got to this point and realised maybe you should pick the camera up and record something. So here we go, let's record something. So I've already started with the basics. Engine cover is off, cam belt cover is off. This I think is engine oil, I can't really tell. It doesn't smell and it doesn't taste like engine oil, so I don't know, but it's all in there. I can't see anything obviously leaking. Just something to note when you're pulling the airbox off. Obviously undo all the bolts for starters, there's only 2, and then the clamp. But you're always going to have oil at the bottom here. Don't be scared by it, it's just blow by, it's normal. If it looks excessive, especially in your throttle, then start to worry, but to me, I'm not worried about any of that. I might take the filter out and clean it. It is a K&N cotton filter, so these belts themselves aren't very old, as you can kind of tell. The reason why I'm changing them is the tensioners are quite old and have been off quite a few times, and I'm almost sure that my water pump is leaking. Again, that's not that old, but it's all within the 4-year bracket, and these tensioners have been reused twice. The reason why twice is I bent the valve in the exhaust, so everything had to come off. I didn't want to buy new tensioners because they weren't that old at the time, so I just bought new belts. The second time it was all apart was, ironically, because of this. But now I know there is definitely a fault with it. That's why it's coming apart this time. Reason why I know there's a fault with it, in case anybody's wondering, if the engine is running and you go to a fast idle and you hear a ticking that isn't injectors or lifters, and it goes away immediately when you unplug this, then something inside there isn't happy. Also, when I was driving, I could repeat the same hesitancy at about 2000 RPM. It was like something was being switched on and off, and it was quite juddery. Again, this was knocking. As soon as I turned that off, the problem went away. It basically locked itself out. So yeah, that's a problem. That's why we're doing this. Well, not the only reason why we're doing this. It needs a cam belt, and I'm pretty sure a seal or something has gone as well, but we'll sort it. Right, next thing to do, now that this is all out of the way, can't drop the engine mount yet. You need to lock the tensioner pulley out. So right where my finger is there is a little keyway. 13mm, I think it's 13mm, I can't remember, or is it 15? Somewhere along there. Basically, spanner on the end of that. Crank it towards the back of the car so it rotates the tensioner away from the belt, and then jam something in, like a 5mm drill bit or an Allen key, into that hole, and it will, if you hold it in the right place, you should just be able to locate it straight into a keyway, which will hold the tensioner in place, and you can pull that belt off. Once that belt's off, then you can start disassembling everything else. This has got to come off. I think the engine mount itself can stay in place, but I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure I'm going to find out rather quickly. Should probably inspect the wiring for the VVT solenoid. The solenoid's brand new. Those are still available from Volkswagen. They're expensive, but you can still get them. Same for the gear. Expensive, you can still buy them. Just whether you'd want to. But I've not inspected the wiring for this. Part of me is tempted to whilst it's apart, but I'm not getting a fault code for it, which makes me think that there's nothing wrong with the wiring. And for everyone asking, yes, that is a coil on plug conversion on a GTi. Again, I've covered this before in other videos. This is something I've made. I used to sell them, I don't anymore. And I've been running this now for the last 10,000 miles without any problems. And I've tested different spark plugs. I found that the best spark plugs are iridiums. Me specifically, I like the denser iridiums. The NGKs were alright, but they just didn't seem up to snuff. Could be wrong on that verdict. I don't have any dyno proof of any of it, so... But really straightforward. It was plug and play with the standard harness, grounded with the coil pack harness, coil pack bracket, and you can just do away with it all. These coil packs are about £28 each, whereas obviously one big one, when that fails, you're shit out of luck, whereas if one of these fail, at least you can still drive and it's a cheap replacement. Oh, I forgot one major thing. Some twat put an under tray on the car. Ugh. Right, I'll get that off. Okay, so quite a lot of time has passed. Obviously it doesn't look like anything has changed, but I had a small disruption which meant I had to put everything on hold. So what I've done for now, because I'm going to have to pick this up again tomorrow, arch liner is all out, the belt is off, as you can see. And I don't know if you can tell, but there's the Allen key that I've used to lock out the tensioner pulley. Yeah. Make sure you clean all the inside of that out. Very important. Lupos like to rust there. To be fair, Lupos just like to rust in general, but moving on. I seem to have a massive oil leak. Well, what I think is an oil leak. I can't really tell because of the direction of all the leaking. It seems to point to a cam seal of some description, but I won't know that until tomorrow when I've got it all off. And typical with 085 gearboxes, this is leaking as well. This is a rebuilt gearbox and it still leaks, so it just goes to show that it doesn't matter what you do, these gearboxes are always going to leak. Next update then will be, well, the next stage, which is I need to loosen the engine mount off, and then we need to lower the engine down so I can get that pulley off, and then I can set the timing then, the top and bottom, lock the cam out, which I'll show you the tool and the way that's done tomorrow. But that's the next stage. So jack under engine. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to remove the whole mount, because I think for me to get access to these bolts for the lower half, I think the mount itself has got to be out the way to do that. Okay, maybe I lied. The plan was not to carry on, but I did. Okay. I found my leak. It's not oil. If you can see, let me shine down into the water pump, wherever it is, there. Can you see that orange stuff? Yeah. I think my water pump broke. It's not been leaking a lot though, so I don't know where it's been weeping from, but yeah, it just looks like a catastrophic oil leak, but it's not. Everything else is all clean, tidy. Tensioners, yeah, they probably are due. So, plan. Obviously this is all got to come off anyway, so let's get everything timed up. So when we're at the top of the engine, we should be on the mark for the dowels here and here. These are the dowels. This is what you lock your camshaft out with before taking the belt off. rotate your cam belt round, and then the bottom pulley, I don't know how well you can see it, should look like that. So you see where half that tooth is kind of notched out? That should be in line with that little bit of rib on the oil pump. If that's in line, and then your dowel tools, which are these things, if they slide straight through the hole on the camshaft, I'm trying to do this while looking at the screen, and go into there, and that's secure. Same for that one. If that goes straight in, then that is secured too. So that's how you time these engines. Now, because I'm changing the cam gear as well, I am going to test the cam gear because I just want to be sure that this is the Badger at fault. Test the cam gear. You've got to take this off, and then you've got to lock it out, which I'll show you the tool in a moment. So let me disassemble that and show you how you lock the cam. And I've just thought of a handy trick that is useful for taking this end cap off. Rotate the whole cover down, apply pressure on the screwdriver this way, and as you're doing that, wiggle the end of the plate and it will just pop off. And then hopefully you can do that without snapping the end off like I did. Now, breaking the end off doesn't do anything, so I wouldn't worry about that too much, because you just screw it back in. I've actually got a spare one of these. Cap removed. You've got a keyway inside the end of the cam there, which is those two little pegs, and then a hole. That's what this is for. So this is providing your timing is spot on, which mine is. Actually kind of surprised. I wasn't expecting it to be straight off the key perfect. So what I'm going to do, 19mm spanner on the end there. We're going to test out. Yep, okay. That's meant to return back smoothly. That's just locked out. So instantly tells me we have a problem with the camshaft. Yeah, that's fucked. Okay. That's supposed to return. The fact that it's not returning means there's a problem. So let's get this locked off, get all this apart, get that cam gear out, because that is done. So you only normally use the 2 bolts to lock it out, but I'm a little bit extra, and I've made something that's got a little bit of a washer to it that also helps. With locking the cam out. So that's locked, both sides. Make sure that still comes in and out smoothly. Yep. So to remove the cam, take that cap off there, which is a Torx. I think it's a T40, T45, something like that. I'll show you what a healthy one looks like. So I have no idea how this is going to work one-handed. So this is a healthy one finger that should return. My one is getting stuck. But yeah, that's what a healthy one should be. Bearing in mind, obviously I've stripped and cleaned that one and put it back together. I'm going to strip and clean this one as well, but that's more just to see what failed rather than let's fix it and keep it as a spare, because I'm pretty sure it's done. Okay, I feel like I've skipped ahead here. Obviously, I've just cracked that off. These are opposite thread. So tighten is loosen, loosen is tighten. So that is coming out. Like I said, we know this cam gear is faulty because it locks out, like fully locks out. So we can drop that. And I'm 99% sure there's nothing wrong with the cam seals. But I might just replace that one anyway. Yeah, that is dry as a bone. So I'll just replace it anyway because it's good practice. That's out. Ready for the new one to go in. Got the camshaft seal out. Now, quite worryingly, it kind of just fell out. So I'm a little bit worried about that. Maybe it was weeping, but there's no oil to say it has been, because this is all just dirty coolant. Yeah, none of it smells like oil. So we have new water pump, 2 new cam seals. I got a crank seal in case I wasn't happy with the crankshaft pulley. I'm going to check that as well. And water pump wise, I've gone different because normally I wouldn't be bothered about metal blade versus plastic, but this time I've gone metal because apparently this particular brand is meant to be really good. So we'll see. We'll test that theory. Not literally, but we'll test it. Cam belt kit, can't go wrong with original Volkswagen parts. So 2 belts, tensioners and idler.
The next day.
So last night we finished the video with the car stripped down, and 2 things happened. One, massive realization that I'd been sold the wrong seals. So that was fun. 2, I just lost all energy. So this morning I've managed to get hold of the new seal, but I've got to wait until tomorrow to have it in my hand. I suppose just get on with the next stage, which is just getting all the old idler pulleys off, tensioner pulleys which are already off, and get this water pump replaced out. Like I said, I realised yesterday that my water pump is broken. It's done. It's obviously leaking from somewhere, whether it's from the seals, the bearing, or somewhere. What happened last night was I pulled the cam seal out. It disappeared into the darkness. Found it by the back wheel. So I'm not going to reuse it. I mean, I've took it out now. Obviously, I'm not going to reuse it. The new one's arriving tomorrow at some point. But this seal is so rare. This engine and the FSI engine are the only ones that use this seal. So when I was trying to contact part suppliers this morning to try and get one, they all kept saying the same thing. It's a European part. It's going to take 2 to 3 days to get it. And then I contacted one supplier who was like going through their list of different providers, and they were like, nope, 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 nope. And then it's like, oh, I can get an FAI one. Right, okay, how soon can you get that? Tomorrow. Perfect. I will wait for that. £15 for that. Bear in mind, the other seals that I had in that box last night, they were £2 each. Bonkers. But this, like I said, this is bespoke to this engine. Well, this casting, not this engine, but this casting. I kind of wonder whether this seal was a contributing factor to the failure. I mean, I don't think it was leaking, maybe weeping, leaking being the wrong kind of term, but it just looks too smooth. Like, and this is supposed to be, is it a Metzger? So it came with the gasket set. I do remember putting this in. I don't know. Let's move on to the next stage, which is, let's get that water pump off and start draining everything out. The way I'm going to drain the water, drain the coolant out, is through the water pump. So let's get all that apart, get it out, and I'm going to inspect everything along the way as well, just to make sure. That's got to come off because there's a new one. That's got to come off because there's a new one.
Tomorrow for sure.
So here we are, 2 days later. I finally get the right seal, so that can go in. Finally, I can get this engine sealed up with the new cam gear in place. I've got the new water pump installed, obviously tensioners all there ready to party. Well, not the tensioners, the idlers. Let's get this all swapped over, get the new belt on, and then I think we're good to party and finally progress. As soon as there we go, it's coming off. I'm also debating pre-filling this with oil as well, because I really don't want a repeat of the issue, because I will cry. Not just a little, I will cry a lot. Cam gear is tightened, remember, opposite thread. So 50 Newton meters followed by 90 degrees. So you have to do a torque tighten, then angle tighten. That's not going anywhere. That was nearly a bad time. And we're gonna do a test now to make sure what I've done is not just repeating myself for the same failure. So, in theory, this is what a healthy VVT gear should be doing. Yeah. Nice and smooth. It does a partial return, which is more than what the other one was doing, and then goes back. There is some movement there, but not worried about that. So we'll lock that back off. Let's get the cam belt on for the top, tension the top, and we can get the rest of the belt on. Okay, so next stage, we've got the belt on. It's all tensioned up. That is fine and dandy. So all tensioned, cap taken out the end there, which still lines up, so that's fine. We're all tightened up, so you can remove that now. It doesn't need to be in there. Next stage now is center tensioner, belt on, party time. Crank it over a few times by hand, make sure it's all happy, and then that is your cam belt done. But there is a way of doing this, so let me get the tensioner on and then feed the belt room. Okay, I'll kind of skip forward a few steps here, but timing checked out okay. It's all tightened up. Sorry I didn't document it, to be honest. This one, it's easier if you start off at the bottom and then work up, and then once it's all on, you're happy with the position and you've tensioned it, crank it over a few times, recheck your marks, happy days. I've checked both sides of the engine, she's good. I've also ran her again. She sounds quite sweet. There is a rattle, but surprisingly it's not this time or that. It sounds like it's either one of the coils or the injectors. It might even be a lifter because it's been sat for a couple of days and just needs driving, but she sounds good. So now my next goal is get her back on the mount, put the alternator belt and everything back on, and then I've got one final pair of goodies to put on this, which I'll show you in a moment. So I kind of hinted earlier, but these are the new pieces for the car. Why are they new? Because they're aluminium, both of them. They're both cast aluminium, so quite nice pieces, nicely machined off on the ends. I actually rate that pipe quite a lot. It looks quite good. This one again is a sandcast piece. I've painted it black because I just want it all to look more natural. The thermostat does work, and well, for starters, let's get to the basics. Where did I buy these from? AliExpress. Okay, yes, go on, get your laughs out. But that thermostat cap, you can put the plastic ones on, which I thought was quite a nice feature. So if I wanted to, I don't have to use this. But I've tested the thermostat, it does work. So I see no reason not to use it. It definitely opens around 100 degrees. It starts to open way before 100, so as I say, it's probably opening at 87 where it should be. Everything is all literally like for like swap, as if it was original plastic. So you can still use your O-rings. The casting finish just needed a little bit of a tidy up, so I did take that into my hands and cleaned it to make sure it all bolts flat. I think the only problem I had was there was a slight bit of overcast around one of the bolt holes on this side, so I've cleaned that back so it's flush. And then there was a bit of overcast on that bit there, again cleaned it back nice and flush. Everything else is literally made as if it was an original part made out of plastic. So I'm guessing they used the plastic as a template for a mould and then just sandcast it. It's definitely not forged cast. Same for this piece. It's definitely sandcast, or at least it looks it. But it is nice and smooth inside, and like I said, the end on these is quite well finished. So again, some consideration has been taken into it, and it uses OEM style O-rings and has facilities for the plastic lock, clamp, whatever you want to call it. Same for this, you just use the original end pieces. So again, they took a lot of thought into that. Changing your thermostat on these engines, same as all the other engines, 3 bolts and it's off, and then obviously disconnect all your hoses. I've kind of skipped forward again, but just going to show you what I've done. So the new pipe and thermostat is in. I don't know if you can see down the back there, but that's the new pipe. There is a trick to putting those together, and basically grease up the O-rings on the pipe, shove the pipe into the block, and then whilst it's kind of floppy, put the thermostat on the end of the pipe, and then put these big gay clips on, making sure that the two don't separate. Now when you try and fit the thermostat, it looks like it's not going to fit, but trust me, it does.
you just have to give it a bit of a shimmy and a wiggle, and it will just sort of snap into place for you to get your bolts in. It's 3, I think it's 5.5mm Allen keys, 5mm, 5.5mm, one of the two, and then it's in. Now I'm swapping out some of the hardware for stuff that I trust. I mean, they look fine, but I just want it all to be matchy, so I'm going to swap the 10mm out for a couple of those, right there, those two, so it all matches the rest now that I've painted it all. But to be honest, it kind of painted black, it looks almost OEM. Radiator's going to drain overnight. So we're literally back on the next morning, and as you can see, everything's all kind of back together. So let's get the coolant system fully reattached, and then we can start running it up and bleeding it all out. There is one small problem I've got to handle, and that is a strip thread in the mount. This middle one I've already helicoiled, so I'm just going to do the last two now, just because I'm sick and tired of them stripping. This is the joys of aluminium engine mounts. Ugh. That annoyed me yesterday. I was going to leave it, but I can't do it. I just can't bring myself to do it. So, just sort it, and then it's done. So, I'm calling this successful. So, the cooling system is just bleeding through now. I'm waiting for the radiator fan to kick in, then I know it's done a full cycle. Obviously that level will drop as soon as it kicks in. She's not overheating, I can see in the top of the coolant bottle, but it is pushing through in dribs and drabs here and there. So I know it's cycling correctly, but I just need that hose to warm up, which it is now. So that radiator is going to kick in any second. Literally as I shut the camera off, radiator kicks in. I knew that was going to happen. Right, that would mean the thermostat is open. So I'm going to call that a success. I'm just going to see how it drives now, because it might not be a success and the gear that I bought could be a dud. I hope not. It seems, like I said, it seems 100% better. I think that's where I'm going to call this video here anyway. As you can see, it's all successful. Car's happy, I'm happy. I think mission successful. See you guys in the next video. I have no idea when that'll be. Bye.
Several days later.
Welcome back. I wasn't going to do one of these videos after ending that one, but I feel like I need to. This is just some feedback from switching over to that aluminium pipe and thermostat housing. Obviously, I mentioned in the video earlier, you need to clean the mating surfaces up a little bit so it is flat, as well as the bolt holes. They just need cleaning out. There was a couple of other things I noticed, and basically it wasn't watertight, not for shit. What do I expect? The reason why they weren't watertight was actually quite simple. The O-rings provided just weren't up to snuff. So, my mistake, I reused the O-ring for the temperature sensor, which is obviously already worn itself. So that leaked. And then the provided O-ring for what was a bung, that leaked. So basically you need to put 2 new 20mm inner diameter, 3.5mm thick O-rings on, and it'll seal. Not a problem. The back of the thermostat housing, the main water pipe, those O-rings are fine. The only thing I noticed is don't use the plastic clip. If you order the pipe and you get the metal one, use the metal one. It won't leak then. Other than that, that's my feedback on the housing. If you buy that aluminium thermostat kit, don't buy it off eBay, buy it off AliExpress. It's considerably cheaper and it's the same thing, literally.
It is the same product, just don't use the O-rings that they provide. Buy your own. 20mm in a diameter, 3.5mm thick. That's all you need to remember. Alright, I'm out. Bye.